And tonight in Your America, well, first they got rid of the term war on terror. Now the Obama administration has banned the term enemy combatants. Now the president's squeamishness about using plain language to talk about our enemies begs the question, will he similarly be squeamish when it comes to fighting terror? Joining us now to answer some of these questions, Arkansas governor and author of the book Do the Right Thing, also the host of Huckabee here on the Fox News Channel, Governor Mike Huckabee. Governor, good to see you. Thank you. No GITMO, we're going to close it down. No enhanced interrogations, can't say war on terror, and now we can't say this.
You know, in Arkansas, we say that bologna is our version of round steak.
Yeah.
But it's still bologna. You can call it whatever you want to. And the truth is, we are at war. We are at war with an ideology that is determined to wipe every last breath we take from our bodies. And we can call it something else, but if we don't call it what it is, we're making a huge mistake, because we need to approach this as if our lives depended on it, because they do.
Do you think it will be interpreted by America's enemies that we're weak in the war on terror? You think this is, we're setting ourselves up, in other words, for aggression because we're showing weakness?
Well, to quote a very insightful American, Joe Biden, the world will test this president very soon.
You really believe that?
Why not? I think that the world will test him. I truly believe that Osama bin Laden and all of the people within the al-Qaeda network have long sought to find another opportunity. Truth is, the aggressive nature that we've taken over the past few years, whatever else someone wants to say about George W. Bush, he kept his eye on the ball. And I think that as a result, there were many potential, almost attacks that were thwarted.
You know, it is interesting, though, if you watch Russia or you watch Iran, they haven't changed their tone because the Texas cowboy is out of town. Yeah. If anything, they seem to have, you know, almost jump-started the rhetoric a little bit, challenging the new president. And then I was watching earlier, you know, the premier in China holds a press conference and is basically excoriating, the communist Chinese excoriating America and telling us how to run our economy. And that was fairly embarrassing to me.
Well, it is. I was in France a month ago, and I was speaking to a group of French CEOs. It was a really interesting conversation.
I would have loved to have been to that one.
Well, you would have. And here's what was amazing. I was talking about, you know, the stimulus, and frankly, I was appalled by what was going on. But more interestingly, these Frenchmen were looking at me and saying, have you in America lost your minds? Well, I thought I would never be sort of dressed down by a group of the French on the American economy and capitalism.
That's pretty frightening. That's
pretty bad.
I don't know if I wanted to be there. Forget it. Let me ask you this question, and I want you to answer this, not former governor, maybe as the host, maybe as a pastor, because you have this background as a preacher, as a pastor, as a minister. Your word is your bond. That's, my father taught me that, right? Important when you give your word?
My dad used to say the only thing a poor man has got is his word. If he loses that, he's got even nothing. And I really believe that it's so important. Barak Obama, with the stroke of his pen this week, violated two very major promises of his campaign. One was in transparency. He said that there wouldn't be a bill that would be signed until it had 5 days of transparency on the internet where the public could look at it.
Sunlight before signing is what he called it, and that we would have 5 days on the internet before it would happen.
That promise gone.
Well, he did it with the ship bill. He signed that one in 3 hours.
And then the other thing that to me is just totally unreasonable is that he signed the $410 billion spending bill with 9,000 pieces of pig ear in it. And he did that after saying all through the campaign, no earmarks. And then, even more with the spirit of being disingenuous, tried to blame George Bush for that. And I'm thinking, the man's been gone for 2 months. He's in Texas. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Well, but he also did it, no lobbyists in his administration. You point out he's going to eliminate earmarks. There's a series of other, you know, his campaign website had a series of other promises. And I'm wondering, is he even conscious of it, or has he just decided that if Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid demand that I go along with their plan, that I've got to get along with them for the next 4 years, they're more important than the American people and the promises? I actually think for him politically, remember the sister soldier moment of William Jefferson Clinton?
Absolutely.
Had Barack Obama gone to the cameras and said, I made a promise to the American people, I will not sign this bill until they take out all the earmarks, those earmarks were gone.
Absolutely.
He had the authority to do that.
Well, and this was a great moment of test for him to show not only his credibility on the campaign promise, but to show a stern approach to the taxpayers' money that I think would have been a big boost to the economy, a big boost to people's confidence.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question I was just asking Newt, and we see the declining popularity of the new president, which was normal, but George W. Bush was doing a little bit better at this time in his presidency. Do you think, and Newt didn't want to go here, I think it's either one of three things. Number one, the doom and gloom talk has created negativity and backlash, the amount of spending, the radical side of his agenda. And I also think there's a side of me that's really believing he's in way over his head, as evidenced by breaking promises, nominees, etc. You agree with any of those three? Think it's something different?
Look, Barack Obama is a brilliant person, but what he lacks is the experience of executive leadership. He's never really run anything of consequence in size. When his campaign was asked about, they said, well, he ran a big campaign. That's really different than running a government. So I don't know that I would want to go so far as to say he's in over his head. Anyone who gets to be president is in over their head the moment they're sworn in.
Even you, if you become president one day.
Anybody. But the point is, I think that he lacks the experience of having to make those tough decisions and know that they're going to have ripples in the pond throughout.
Congratulations on the book. We'll be watching this weekend. Governor, thanks for being with us.